Eliminate the enemy. Squad E, move out!
7 years since the release of the last mainline game in the Valkyria Chronicles series, and 8 since the last one has been localized, Valkyria Chronicles 4 is the first game since the original to come back to home consoles, while also being the first Valkyria game to release on the Nintendo Switch, which is the version I am reviewing. 4 has promised a return to the series' roots, improve upon the mechanics that made the original such a beloved classic, and provide an excellent entry point to newcomers. I've never actually played more than an hour or so of any of the previous games, so for all intents and purposes, I'm a newcomer myself. Because of this, I don't really have anything to compare my experiences with, so I hope my beginner's perspective can help inform those looking to give the series a shot. And you definitely should, because Valkyria Chronicles 4 might be one of the most addicting strategy games I've played in recent years. In the year 1935, the Second European War, fought between the Federation and the Imperial Alliance, ravages the continent of Europa. The game uses the journal of Claude Wallace, a Federation commander in charge of Squad E, as a way to frame the narrative. His unit consists of mostly Gallian volunteers, including some of Claude's childhood friends, with their main objective being to participate in Operation Northern Cross, a war effort to move the fight directly into Imperial territory. They'll have to face both the dangers of the Empire and the deadly winter in this last-ditch effort to save their homeland. Fans of the original might notice that Valkyria Chronicles 4 takes place concurrently to VC1, while also being the first game in the series to leave Gallia. Anyways, loyalty will be put to the test, tanks will be driven, and dogs will be adorable. Who's a good boy? You are! But hey, cute dogs are just the icing on the sweet and delicious SRPG cake. You might be happy to learn that this game's strategy and gameplay is just as deep and rewarding as I am bad at metaphors and comedy. The game's combat uses the Blitz system, a hybrid of turn-based and real-time strategy. During your turn, you can pick any of your deployed troops and move them one at a time. Selecting a unit takes away one of your action points, and when you run out of those, it becomes the enemy's turn. Each unit has an AP bar that varies depending on their class, which depletes as they move. During this period, you're allowed to perform one action, but when that bar is depleted, you're stuck dead in your tracks. Luckily, you can select the same unit immediately afterwards if you decide to attack again, but to keep things fair, they'll have a lowered AP bar. Enemy fire can intercept your units as they act, and vice versa. If a character falls in battle, you have 3 turns to get an allied unit to them, which calls for a medic to come save them. If you reach them in time, they can even be deployed again after a turn passes. However, if you fail to reach them, that unit is lost forever. At this point in the video, you usually would expect to see relevant footage, but since my neurotic ass aims for perfection in these games, I never lost a single character. Paranoia, saving the day again. Now, you're wondering, why should I care about my units dying? Permadeath is a mechanic that a lot of strategy games are designed around, but Valkyria Chronicles 4 understands it a bit better than most. Its answer to making players care about permadeath comes in the form of side stories, which fleshes out each of the party members' backstories and combat efficiency. While some characters are definitely more interesting than others, the entire cast is pretty likable once you get to know them, and the dialogue in these chapters never fail to keep me invested. Clear these side stories and you can even improve some of their respective units' weaknesses. I really like doing these because they give you motivation in the form of both story and gameplay working in tandem. You'll need to utilize your environment, have an understanding on how the classes work, and keep your equipment well maintained in order to make it from one mission to the next. Outside of the tank operators, the members of Squad E are all categorized into one of 6 classes. There are scouts who have high AP and can easily explore maps to locate the enemy, shock troopers which are machine gun wielding soldiers with low AP but high damage output, lancers which are units with rocket launchers that excel at destroying tanks, the engineers who can repair tanks and replenish specialty ammo, snipers which, I mean, come on, take a wild guess, you know how they work, and the newly introduced Grenadiers, who can bombard troops from long distances and slow down tanks using portable mortars. I want to give you the facts here. Snipers and Grenadiers, best classes in the game. Each of these classes are well balanced by themselves, but work best when in harmony with each other. Let me stress, this is a difficult game, so it's always best to be prepared. Fortunately, you can take a break from the story at any time. If you're feeling underleveled or just want to grind for experience and money, you can replay any mission that you've already cleared. VC4's difficulty is something I feel every SRPG should strive for. Challenging, but with victory always within grasp. This game will push you to your strategic limits, but I found that it always gave me the tools to overcome any adversity, albeit just barely. The combat is the ideal combination of stressful and exhilarating, which had me crawling falling back for more each and every time the Imperial Army wiped the floor with my ass. It says a lot for a game to be as consistently addicting as Valkyria Chronicles 4, especially when most missions can last an hour or two each. I know that might sound like a bit much, but I was surprised just how engaged I was in each battle and how they hardly felt that long, except of course when you lose, since there aren't any checkpoints in the missions. This unfortunately means that if you get a game over near the end of a really long battle, back to the beginning you go. This never really became that much of an issue for me, but it definitely got on my nerves each time it happened. All in all, the blitz system works great, except the one time it didn't.
Shot. Now!
Please make efficient use of the grenadiers.
To no one's surprise, the presentation in this game is top-notch. VC4 uses the latest version of the Canvas engine, making the game look like a living watercolor painting. It's a testament to how powerful a beautiful art style can be, since it gives personality and charm to what would be otherwise just decent 3D models. Thanks to this, environments look incredible and all really stand out, especially the ones in the second half when winter arrives. Cutscenes play out in either character windows or animated scenes, and while the former feels sometimes rather limiting, the latter are always thrilling. I just wish there were more of them. However, every cutscene is uplifted by Valkyria Chronicles 4 having full voice acting. The dub is incredible and elevates the narrative to new heights. I wish I could say the exact same thing about the music, because while it's exciting and great to listen to, I feel like there could have been more of it. Now, as for the Switch port, it's really solid. In fact, there's really not much to say. It's a perfect fit for the system, and playing this on the go felt great. There was occasional slowdown, but these moments were far and few between. Sure, the game looks and runs slightly better on PS4 and Xbox One, but I wholeheartedly recommend it on Switch if that's available to you. VC4's story is compelling from start to finish, crafting a fascinating war drama sure to keep players on the edge of their seats. The characters all do a great job immersing you into the world, and while it doesn't do anything revolutionary, it's still an extremely well executed story. Unfortunately, one of the narrative's main flaws is its inconsistent tone at times. The subject matter can get extremely serious, discussing topics such as segregation, loyalty, faith, and class. The highs of this game are extremely high, and it stinks that every once in a while it just kind of falters ever so slightly, which can mess with your immersion. Yeah. More often than not, however, you're treated to a touching tale that will keep you turning the pages in Claude's journal. And can you really ask for anything else in a game? Valkyria Chronicles 4 is everything you could want out of an SRPG. Fun, addicting combat, great visuals, an engaging plot, and a ton of content. It stressed me out in the best way possible. I've spent the past few weeks with little else on my mind but this game. Yeah, some of the story aspects aren't the greatest, but the gameplay is executed to near perfection. If you're looking for a challenging and exciting RPG to dump a bunch of time into, you owe it to yourself to check this one out. I give Valkyria Chronicles 4 an A-. Alright, let's wrap this up with some quick thanks. First of all, thank you Sega for providing a review copy of this game. Next up, thank you Supreme Zerker for helping me edit the script as always. He's a good guy, follow him on Twitter. Really the only other thing I have to say is that the East Memories of Celceta review is still coming, so keep your eyes out. That'll be all for me, have a fantastic rest of your day.
Oh yeah, and follow me on Twitter.
Bye bye!